When is a chess outpost truly strong versus a target? Imagine placing a knight deep in your opponent's territory, controlling key squares and threatening their pieces. That's the power of a well-established outpost. But not every outpost is created equal. Some are fortress-like, while others are sitting ducks. So how do you tell the difference? Let's break it down. A strong outpost is a square controlled by your pawns, located deep inside your opponent's side of the board, often in the center or on a semi-open file. It's a position where your piece, usually a knight, cannot be easily attacked or pushed away by enemy pawns. This makes it a safe base for your piece to exert influence. Think of it as a secure platform from which your knight can threaten enemy pieces, control important squares, and support your attack. Now, a target is quite different. It's a square or piece that can be attacked or pressured without much risk. If your opponent can challenge your outpost with their pawns or pieces without losing material or creating weaknesses, then that outpost is not so strong. It's more like a sitting target, vulnerable to being dislodged or neutralized. The key to knowing when an outpost is truly strong comes down to a few factors. First, look at your pawn structure. A strong outpost is protected by your pawns and cannot be challenged by your opponent's pawns. For example, if your knight sits on d5 supported by pawns on c4 and e4, and your opponent has no pawns on c5 or e5 to attack it, that's a solid outpost. If your opponent can push a pawn to challenge that square, then your outpost becomes weaker. Next, consider the control of the square. A strong outpost is on a square that your opponent cannot easily contest. Usually, this means the square is a hole in their pawn structure. No pawns can advance to challenge it. If your opponent can push a pawn or bring a piece to threaten your outpost, then it's more likely to become a target. Another important aspect is the activity of the piece occupying the outpost. A strong outpost allows your knight or piece to control central or enemy territory, restrict your opponent's pieces, and create tactical threats. If your piece is passive or limited in scope, the outpost loses its strength. The phase of the game also matters. Outposts are most useful in the middle game when piece activity and control of key squares are vital. In the endgame, if your piece on the outpost cannot create threats or if your opponent can neutralize it easily, then the outpost's value drops. Your opponent's counterplay is another factor. If they have to weaken their own pawn structure or create weaknesses to challenge your outpost, then your position is strong. But if they can attack your outpost without any risk or cost, then it's more of a liability. Finally, understanding the difference between absolute and relative outposts helps. An absolute outpost is a square your opponent cannot challenge with pawns at all, making it very strong. A relative outpost can be challenged, but doing so might weaken their position or create other weaknesses, which can still make the outpost strategically useful. In practical terms, aim to place knights on strong outposts in the center or near the enemy's position. Use pawn moves carefully to support or create outposts, and watch for your opponent's attempts to undermine them. If you see your outpost becoming vulnerable, reinforce it or reposition your pieces. When you combine these ideas, your outposts can become powerful tools to press your advantage and control the game. So, a chess outpost is truly strong when it's well supported by pawns, safe from enemy pawn attacks, placed on a difficult square for your opponent to challenge, and actively contributes to your overall strategy. If these conditions aren't met, then your outpost might just turn into a target waiting to be dislodged.